first time I met Slipknot was actually on a Coheed Cambria support of Slipknot tour. And it was like my first ever touring visa to go to America. I'd been to America previously with a band called From Morn to Ashes. They took me out, but I went over on just hanging out. It wasn't teching. I wasn't, it was just friends. I was just like, I'd like to see what it was like in the States. I'd never been. They were like, come along, just hang out. So to get a visa, and then it was just like, oh, I need to like put all my musical stuff together to try and get it and that kind of stuff. And
I'm assuming an 01.
Oh no, it was an 01, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was no one else to be a sponsor with me. So,
right.
And that was it. That was once I got to the States and I saw like this huge production, which was, Slipknot. I was just like, whoa, what the hell's that? And that's 2000 so my band's record just came out that year before I did that. So,
yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Glorious Dead is 2008.
It was 2008, but we recorded it in, I think, 2006 in my house, in my living room.
Punk rock.
It was punk rock, yeah. It was recorded by Dan and Justin from Sixth. They were the guys that did it. So,
I mean, obviously everyone assumes that your Slipknot origin story begins in 2014 or something along those lines. But like, I know that specifically on that Coheed tour that Jim was super chill with you, so much that he gave you a gift that would probably change your days.
Yeah, it was me being me, and I know I annoy some people during sound checks or whatever, but I just come from that world. I was just like, I still want to keep my chops up. I don't want to like throw it away. And he just kind of bumped into me one day and was just like, oh, what band are you like playing with? And I'm like, I'm not. I'm fucking guitar teching for Coheed Cambria. He's like, have you got a guitar on the road with you? And I was like, no. 4 days later, Martin, his previous tech, goes, here you go. Have you got a case? He's like, no, you don't get a fucking case. But then I got a case at the end of the tour. But, and then we'd like hook up and we'd talk about shredding and stuff like that, and we'd show each other stuff. And so it came from there. And then after that tour, that was it. I didn't hear from him for quite some time until I started working with Mastodon. And then that's where we were doing European festivals and shit like that. And then we'd be playing on the same stage. And then I was like, hey man, how's it going, buddy? And whatever. So
you still have that guitar?
I do, yeah. I still have it. I ripped
awesome.
all the frets out of it and redid some bits to it, but that was it.
Now, I know that that's a pretty fairy tale type story. It's like, I end up playing in this fucking band in 2014, but like 2008, I meet them on the road and met them professionally that way. But I think your earliest roots to Slipknot do go a little earlier than that. I think that you have a tie to Slipknot from when you were 18 years old to do with MTV. Yes,
okay. That's funny you brought that up. I've been trying to find that video, so if anyone on the internet can find it, please let me know. But a friend of mine, and it was my ex-girlfriend, I think was, I was definitely 18 years old, and he won this, Chris Robson, he won this MTV FANatic, and it was a two-part show. One side was Kylie Minogue, and the other side was Slipknot. And he needed a band, because he didn't play in a band, so he could record a song, and then he got my band, Craft Science, to sing on. So we could get away with doing this thing. But, and then I can't find it anywhere. It's as if it's like gone from existence. Like you can't Google the shit out of it, you still can't find it. Tried Reddit, everything. So if there's any Uber fan out there that's got the video, please find it.
Someone have it on VHS.
Yeah, it would definitely probably be VHS. So.
That's wild. That is wild. Yeah, I think that should be told as your or. I think that the Coheed Jim Root giving me a guitar story is a prettier one, but I think that should be the let it be known that that's the original Slipknot story.
It was weird, but I mean, the only reason why I never bring it up is just because it wasn't about me. So it was about Chris, and it was he got like this mask made for him, and we went down to Brighton to go and watch them, and we were hanging out with him in a stairwell, and like Sid had some crazy haircut, and I'm just like, what is going on? This is nuts, and chatting to Jim about like his mezza boogies he was using and whatever. But do you know what I mean? Like when I brought it up when I saw him again, he was just like, yeah, I remember playing Brighton. He came to a Cry for Silence show to watch. Cool. That was like, he was in London at the time, and he was just like, I'll come watch the band. And it was just like, well, hold on, where's that singer that won the Mask? But he's not in the band. That's
awesome. So Coheed is a great arena opportunity. Touring with Slipknot, great opportunity for you. But Mastodon would become, one of your main gigs where I know you met a lot of people, especially, touring America shitload. Tell me about your Mastodon, how you get in that band, and kind of, how your role grows there. But also, please don't leave out how you almost, Brent almost gets you fired on day one.
Oh yeah. You did some research. It was one of those things that Darren Sanders, who's my tech now, is Troy from Mastodon's brother. We'd met on a Metal Hammer kind of, not a cruise ship because it was on the Thames, but it was like a small little show. I think Valiant 4 were playing, who he was working with, and I was teching for Bring Me the Horizon. And we met and we were just chatting, and he was just like, hey man, do you want to do the gig with Mastodon? I was like, no way. That's really? Because they were like my favorite band. So I was like, I would love to do that. And then lo and behold, did the first pre-production in Germany, got there, and then, I got like my work box. I had it like shipped over there, and I was like, hey dude, can I rebuild your whole entire rig? And he's like, what's wrong with my one? I was like, it's shit. It's like all the fucking cables are like crackling, like the fucking power doesn't work for this. I was like, please, just let me do it. It's going to take a day. Just give me the set. Soldered this all up, all brand new cables, brand new looms, like went through his diesel and like fucking made sure everything was working. And I was like, there you go, boom. And he was like, okay, didn't say anything. And then we did a show, and then, it's fucking out of tune. I was like, it's not fucking out of tune, dude. There's nothing wrong with it. And it was just butting heads. I think we were just two strong identities, just kind of doof. And then after a few beers and a couple of days, we were like, fucking, it was nailed. We were super cool. So, every day going to work was like fun, So.
I think that, even someone from the outside looking in on what it would be like to work for that band, the first thing I could come up with is fun. Those guys are absolutely outlandish and very open about their fucking love for getting drunk and partying. I imagine those were...
We had some fun.
Yeah, I imagine those were some of the, some tours have, 8 straight edge dudes and 14 vegans on them, and no one does anything, and everyone goes to sleep after the shows and is on their laptops. But, some shows, it's like fucking bus call and half the people aren't back yet. Yeah. What kind of vibe was Mastodon like working?
Yeah, it was fun. We partied a lot. I mean, I could write a book on loads of bands that I've worked with, but that's the whole point about friendship, is that you don't spill too many beans. But no, we had fun, and like doing like big festivals in Europe and stuff. They were like the best because it was just so many different bands, and there were days where you'd wake up and I was just like, Darren, here's my day wages. I can't I can't load in because I was just too hungover or something. And that was that world sometimes, but most of the time, I'd like to say I'd do a tour and I'd be like, you didn't break a string, your shit never cut out, and you sounded good. So I did my job, but it was also fun at the same time. So.
And just to bring everyone watching up to speed, giving Darren a day's wages, that's the other tech on the tour paying him your salary for the day to do your job because you're too hungover. Just in case you skimmed over that, and in case anyone didn't get the full context of that.
Yeah, it was just like, dude, he never took the money anyway, so whatever. And I'd buy him a bottle of Jaeger back anyway. I'd be like, there you go, buddy, there you go. So.
That's how you do it. Yeah, a little bit of cold Jaeger can fix pretty much anything.
But, that band though, like when I'd work, I'd turn my head, and there'd always be like some muso that I'd look up to, or somebody that was, and they'd always be having like that type of people on the side of the stage. You know, if it'd be from like Eddie Vedder would come out of his dressing room to watch him, or Jack Black or something like that, or you know, there was always just someone that I turn around and go, fucking hell, this band always has people watching them like all the time, and I think that's, you know, a testament to their music. I think they were just, you know, killer band.
The thing I've always admired honestly about them, and I mean, you worked for them for quite a few years, you've seen the evolution, is album to album, the evolution, the vocal styles, the riffing styles, like they've reinvented themselves. If you embrace them at Remission, maybe you didn't embrace them on Emperor of Sand, but maybe you definitely, you know, embrace them somewhere in the middle. It's really a band that, you know, the super fans will always love every record, but as general music fans, there's absolutely something for everyone. There's an album for everyone with that band.
100%, yeah. So it was, you know, being a tech and listening to them in my in-ears every night was just like, it was great. I had a great time. So.